Mm.
I've seen them before. Yeah.
So you need to get a charger for
But I don't have any use for it.
I'm just trying to be nice and charitable.
Guys, I've pushed the wires down a bit. Actually, I didn't need to go in. I just pushed them from here. That's fine. Who's that? Hey! Basically, I've done everything I wanted to do on it. The rear brake couldn't be adjusted in the end, but it's fine. It does the thing. I am going to put a new carb on next weekend, so I'm not going to advertise it now. That's it. Not touching it. The fuel gauge does work. I've double checked that when I put fuel in. This bike's ready to go next weekend. Gators and all if they turn up. Okay, here's that Piaggio Fly we looked at from a couple of weeks ago. It was out up in Camden, wasn't it? And it started and it ran, and then I noticed immediately that there was a split in the fuel hose. I'm not sure I actually showed you it, but here, look, see that hole? So that is dripping fuel. And I went back to him and I said, look, it's dripping fuel. That's, you know, it's got a hole in the fuel line. And he said, no. He said it didn't feel like that. It was bogging out and it was running at some times and it was stopping. And I said, well, that sounds exactly like a hole in the fuel line. It's sucking in air. It's not letting enough fuel. I said, that's exactly what I would expect. And he said, no, trust me, Charlie. Once get it running and then give it a run. He said it felt more like a belt issue or something. So I've bought some new fuel line. I love this line. It's brand new. It's a new company I've used. It looks really solid and rigid, but actually look, it's quite flexible. It's soft. It's good stuff. It's E10 appropriate. So yeah, very happy with this. So step one for me is to just switch over that fuel line, start this thing up and take it for a spin up and down. It's road legal at the moment. That makes me road legal on it because I'm insured. Let's see what is going on. Second to that, I'd probably be giving it a quick carb clean. It's probably got some crap in there as well. And then I'll be able to tell, I'll absolutely be able to tell if there's a belt issue or not. So, getting down to the fuel line, I might be able to get through the seat without even taking the bucket out. Might be able to run a line. Where is the fuel line? Is it this top one here? Is that going along and up? God, that's bloody stiff. I may be able to run a line through and up without taking this off here. It would help me if I could get this line off and measure it. So I'm gonna, let me sort that out. I did it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because recently I bought a packet of rolling tobacco.
Oh yeah.
And I've always, it's usually that's the machine they were on the bike.
Yeah. Interesting issue with this, guys, right? So I did an oil dip and there was no oil. Yeah, it was low, very low on oil or no oil. So I put oil in, didn't realise oil was coming up the bottom. So I thought, what is going on? And I got down here and I noticed this. There. So at some point the drain plug, the filter drain plug has come off, or someone's nicked it, or someone's done a service and forgot to put it back in, or something. But ultimately this bike's been running dry. I've done the new fuel hose, but this bike's dry because it literally has no oil in it. My guess is it will start and run and ride with no oil in for a minute or two, but as its heat seized once, it will just keep heat seizing. That's my guess. If it hasn't been run too long, it may not, but it has. That's why it was cutting out. So we're screwed, really. It's kind of over. I'm going to message Seb and say it's over, really. I'm going to try and find a bung. It's going to be hard to find. This isn't the 125 or the 50. This is the 100cc. Hardest to find. But I am going to try and find the drain plug on it and try and put one in and fill it up. And we'll see. But yeah, I have no doubt it's over. And yeah, that's it. Warren's bike's gone. They took that and left the most expensive parts. That was a bit silly. But at least it's gone now. I made them fill out the logbook. You have to do that. It's important because it was in Warren's name. Yeah, what a pain. Such a pain. I can't believe it. And I wasted so much oil. Cat litter is good for picking up oil, guys. That's cat litter down there. Alright, so that's it. It's over. This is great. I just want to throw a new carb on it for my peace of mind. That's everything else is done. It rides beautifully. I'm very happy with that. New carb next week, and the new gaiters when they turn up, because they're starting to go bad and I want to save them. I'm going to put grease underneath them in case they trap water and moisture and rot faster. That's a tip. I'd be curious what people think about that. It's something I've done in the past. I believe it's a good tip. Just you grease it up, and the grease helps protect it under the barrier. Otherwise, the barrier can seal moisture, right? Or let me know if I'm going nuts. I try not to put the grease down in the travel area, so it's just above the travel area. The travel area will deal with that area. That area shouldn't get rough because it's constantly moving and traveling. That's it. Not much more I can do today or tomorrow, really. It's all done. I might try and find a bike tonight. I'm going to get back on the internet and see what's about. So I'm off again. Find a new bike. This is I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's a hoodlum or one of them style bikes that should be the same as the Michigan, and hopefully it's workable. I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with it, but yeah, hopefully it's workable. We won't know until I see it, really. So one of the things I do, anyone who's followed me for a while, there's this thing I do. I'm not quite overly sure why, but I tend to buy a second version of the same bike that I'm working on, and that way one's normally further gone than the first, and that way I can use the other one to reference to fix this one. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm potentially picking up, I think it's the hoodlum. It's definitely the same bike. I'm here next to it now, but the owner's not here yet, so I'm waiting in the fan. I think the shocks are bent. I think they're bent. He says it won't turn left currently, and the brake caliper has been snapped off. So he's had some sort of drop or crash. My hope originally was that I buy a new caliper, because it's the lug has snapped. Buy a new caliper, chuck it on and it'll be fine. But then when he said it won't turn left, I'm thinking, what stops a bike turning left? So I said to him, do you think the forks are bent? And he said yes. But the pictures didn't look massively bent. So the bike's definitely here next to me, and it's definitely got similarities to the other bike. So yeah. Okay, here we are. Let's have a look at this bad boy. We're back at the garage. There it is. What is it? I kept calling it different names. What actually is it? Let's have a look. It's not a Michigan, I've got that. It's either a hoodlum. Oh, an outlaw. Sinis Outlaw. Right. As you can see, fundamentally it's the same bike. Got these same funny covers on the top that I had to take off before because they're attached to the tank. Same system. Same system up here. Now on the advert, it was described as not being able to turn left, which it doesn't actually. That's the furthest it turns left. So something's gone wrong in the yoke system. And potentially forks were bent, that was said. Now I think they are a touch twisted. My initial guess is that they're not bent. My initial guess is that they're twisted. It could even be that we're on the lock system on the left. We need to twist it all back to center so we get our locks back. That's a potential, but not a guarantee. Other than that, it did start. It definitely started, and it sounded exactly like the one we have, the Michigan. This has gaiters on. That's interesting because I'm putting gaiters on the other one, and you can't see it, but the front caliper is chucked over here because it snapped. I'm going to put it out. We might have enough light still to have a quick look. Let me get it out and we'll see. Getting that down the ramp with no brakes was interesting. Rear brake's not working. My guess is it has a double system to the front. That's my guess. So we've lost the air or something. We've put air in it. In fact, look, that line's cut. Wow, that line's cut. How? Okay. Wow. There's ABS on this bike. That's cut. What year is this bike? 72. No idea. It's fuel injected. Alright, so no front, no rear brake. Here's the caliper here hanging loose. The mounting bracket there is what came off. So it's probably going to need a new one. I bet they're really pricey. Oh, it's a sliding system. Hang on a minute. No idea. Gonna have to look into that. So it's the Outlaw, whatever year that is, 72. I don't know if it might be 22. Ideally I'd put a new tank on it because these dents. And then look, steering, that's the max left it goes, but it goes fully right. Look at that, all the way to the right, but stops there. Actually, it's on the stopper, isn't it? Yeah, so it has all twisted, so it is all about recentering it, I think. Oh, right, quite a project, but a project. And not, it shouldn't be the toughest project in the world. It's probably going to be a new front caliper system, at least a new rear hose. I'll just need to measure it. I'll just need to measure it from there to wherever it goes to. It'll be the master cylinder. Here, actually, look, here. Yeah, wow. Okay, are we squirting? No. Right. I like it. I'm excited. Actually, yeah. Alright, cool. I'm going to chuck it away. Not literally. And do some research and see where we go. It's a nice bike though.